Hey there, Chris Parry with your 3 minute hit. I should really retitle these 5 minute hits because I always seem to go way over 3 minutes. But I'm the boss and I can do whatever the hell I want to do. Which includes today talking about a wee company called Kermode Resources. KLM is the ticker symbol. I kind of wish they'd changed the name and the ticker because they're leftovers of a previous administration that based the ticker around the CEO's wife's initials. And I think that maybe there's a better way to illustrate what this company actually is. Now, what is this company? It's a tiny little resource explorer doing tiny deals, tiny little plots of land, and progressing those deals ahead by spending as little money as possible. Like this is a company that came out of fire and brimstone, pitchforks and torches, shareholders hating management just kicking the ball down the line long enough to bring in more revenue, to bring in more salary, and not be held to account for not actually doing any work. That's all changed. In comes my good friend Newton from CEO.ca, Pete Bell, who's decided this is going to be his dream. It's going to be his legacy. First company he's ever come into in management. First company he's ever come into as a CEO. What is it? Technically, don't give a shit. Technically, there isn't anything technically because this is just a clump of land with a lot of potential. What Pete is doing though is he's not spending any money on anything but what's going into the ground. He's not going out there with the corner office on House Street. He's not got the IKEA art on the wall. He's not got the little bar fridge under his desk. He's sitting there in his home running this company on an absolute breath of a robin. But there's some progress. All right. So they've done some sampling at their Grey project, got up to 11.4% copper. They sampled 24,438 grams a ton of copper at Right Patch. They've got an agreement for the Lucky Number 7 project. They've got options on that. They've sampled earlier at the Chrysos project. Now, if it seems weird to you that there's all these different projects for one company that is worth $2.2 million market cap. Like literally, guys, there's some of you out there that could sell a rental property and take over this company. That's how cheap it is. Why is that important? Because usually that is the space of the zombie company, the companies that have gone to zero and nobody gives a shit anymore. The investors have written off the investment. Management are just running out the clock, emptying out dollars for as long as they can before they have to start selling office furniture. Not the case here. That phase is already finished. What Pete Bell has done is taken this thing away from those people and has restarted it. So it's gone from half a cent to 2 cents. Now, 2 cents doesn't seem like much for a lot of people. Oh my God, 2 cent stock? Are you kidding me? When it starts at half a cent, 2 cent stock is a great thing, right? That means if it goes up to 2.5 cents, well, percentage wise, you're getting a nice, good return on that. So what we want to see in a situation like this is management actually progressing things away from the $2.2 million market cap, which incidentally was a $500,000 market cap when we started talking to you about it, and move things along. Just cheap, like nothing big. So, when they went in and optioned the Lucky Strike, they're not going out there and dropping a big bunch of cash on it. They're just throwing some shares at the guys that own it, No exploration commitments, zero. For year 1, year 2, zero. No cash, just shares. So what does that mean to you? It means that the company isn't going out and overburdening itself by having to pay royalties. It's just taken a bit of property that it likes and said, cool enough, we'll give you some shares for this. We'll take very little risk. And if it comes off, then they get all of the win. Now, when you see a company that's doing some sampling, and they say things like the samples are selective grabs of visually mineralized material found at surface in a dump located next to the mine shaft that was heavily overgrown with brush near the following coordinates. That's telling you this is a small company, small amount of cash, going out and looking around at what they can find on the ground. That seems very cheapskate. But what it actually is it's stage 1 of a 10-stage program. You don't go out there and throw drills down immediately. What you do is you send your geo out with a bag and a water bottle, and you just say, walk in every damn direction and see what you can find. And here they are in a heavily overgrown brush area. They find a mine shaft that might have been used in 1852, and they find a little bit of dump next to it, and they run that through the lab, and they find actually there's a lot of ore here, and something that may not have been really viewable, findable, reasonable, economic in whatever year, whatever decade, whatever century it was found, may actually today be interesting. So to find 11.4% copper in a grab sample of just a pile of ore next to a mine shaft that no one's looked at for 70 years, that's progress, right? It's not massive progress. It's not going to take you to 22 cents, but it's progress. It's evidence that these guys are actually doing the work that they claim to be doing. Now, again, you can look into some of the news here and say, here's one paragraph. The use of square nails and flat strap iron for the rail line provide archaeological evidence to indicate the shaft dates to the 1860s. The 1860s. Now, guys in the 1860s, you know what their lab was? They get a pan and they shake it around with some water and they see what they can find. We are a much more advanced people now. But what we do know is that these shafts kept people alive economically back in the day. So now you've got KLM coming in here and sticking their nose into that little area and saying, what can we find in this former silver mine? The potential is there to be really great news. It might not be, hey, let's go out and get permits to turn this into a full production. It might just be, there's enough there that we should actually start digging in around the surface to find what we can find to verify that we're not seeing an anomaly here. And if we find more stuff, then hey, maybe we start going down that shaft a little bit, start expanding it, get some engineering in, get a road, find a mill. But this is step one of what could be a 10-step plan towards getting to a mine. You don't need to get through those entire 10 steps to make money off an investment like this. What you do is you need to get enough good information that you can progress to step two. Because step two isn't a $2 million company, it's a $4 million company, which means doubled your money. Step three might be a $12 million company, which means you keep doubling your money again and again and again. And you don't even need to get to a place where anyone is producing anything to get there. You just need good information, continues to be brought up by this group of guys that have already showed you that they are legitimately moving this project forward. It started out as a $500,000 deal. It's now a $2 million deal. If it goes up half a cent, now you're looking at a $3 million deal. And this is all good return on your money. Pete Bell has hooked his life and his reputation into this, his first company as a CEO. Now that's important. He's not a guy who's going to go out there and just like try and draw a salary for the next 3 years. He doesn't need to. He's made money just investing in companies. He's made money going out there and talking about companies. He's basically done the same thing that I've been doing, but he's more technical and has naturally found his way into a deal that he really trusts with people that he really trusts, and his reputation is on the line. So there's no promises. I ain't telling you they're going to stick a shovel in the ground and pull up gold. I'm telling you that they're going to do honest work to move this from a $2 million company to a $3 million company to a $5 million company. And all they need is just the smallest bit of good news to make that happen. Kermode Resources, I think it's a great story. And to be honest, I invested in it just because I like the people and I want them to have every chance to do what they've set out to do, which is surprise the bag holders that have been around for 20 years waiting for someone to do something with this damn company, to surprise them that one day they wake up and find that they've made their money back. You know, I can get behind that as a program, as a business model every day of the week. Good people should be supported by good people. And if you're good people, give KLM a look, maybe take a little sniff, see if it's to your liking. And look, it's a dice roll. If you come up with sevens, you double your money. If you come up with a six, maybe you lose 30%. It's up to you. Figure out your risk tolerance and how much you really want to get behind a good story.